ladies and gents, so I think we all need to, well, I need to get loosened up this morning to start with. So we're going to have a nice steady class today. Unless these painkillers kick in, we might get a little bit further. So your hands just by your thighs. And as you bring your hands to your thighs, turn your palms in and feel how that brings your shoulder blades together. A little tucking of your chin and let your weight sit into your heels so your knees are soft. A few gentle shoulder rolls first. Just simply pulling the shoulder blades down towards the back of the ribs, as well as pulling the crown of your head up towards the ceiling. So a nice long spine. Okay, we're just going to do a couple more circles here, and then we're going to take them bigger. So you can lift both elbows up and over, gently squeeze the elbows back. And as you squeeze the elbows back, almost feel like your shoulder blades again squeeze in towards the spine. So again, we're just switching the muscles on through the upper back towards that nice strong connection. And keep good posture, of course. Arms stop in line with your shoulders, arms drop, and then cross the arms. As you pull your arms forward, you're going to step forward. So you're going to step in, step back, step in, step back. Breathe in and out, in and out. Front knee over your heel, back heel peeling off the ground, and then to a diagonal this time. So pull your arms back, cross, and then pull back. Just keep alternating the legs. So you feel that as you open the arms to a diagonal, you get a little squeeze into the shoulder blades, and we stretch the chest at a slightly different angle. And hopefully finding a little bit of balance to begin with. Once more. And then stay in the middle. Drop your hands to your thighs, roll your shoulders back, and then just wrap from side to side. When you're wrapping your arms, you're squeezing your bottom to keep the hips still. You're keeping the length of the spine, let the head gently turn from side to side. And we add in a step to the side. So step to your right, back into the centre, and then over to your right again. Start to turn to your left as you come into the centre. So get the spine rotating all the way around. Let your arms feel nice and heavy, and simply just allow them to wrap around your waist. And two more to this side. Keeping your left foot anchored to the ground, and then we change over sides. So you can just stay with the wraps, just let the arms keep going. Then as you go to your left, we step and then come in. Turn the head to the left and then to the front. And then whenever you're ready, you can turn your head all the way around to the right hand side. Squeezing the bottom and lengthen up through your spine as you come into the centre. And go a little wider if you want to. And then just once more. And stop in the middle. Both feet under the hips. Let's try our lunges next. Your right leg, arms lift. Just scissor the arms. One lifts, one lowers, and then push back. As you step forward, that front knee over the heel. Shoulders above the hips. And as you push back, push out of your front heel. And you want to land your feet right back underneath your hips. And just be aware the head doesn't drop forward of your shoulders. Think about that squeeze we create through our shoulder blades. And try and maintain that little squeeze as you scissor the arms. Then you can start to think about your front knee. You might find that front knee wants to roll in a little. So if you feel the knee collapsing in, your arch of the foot will collapse as well. Gently press the knee out, switches on the outer thigh, gives you more stability through the knee, and it puts the foot and the ankle in a much better position too. That little extra thing to think about on a Monday morning. Perfect. And again from here, drawing the tummy in, and one last one. So you're always finishing there on your left. If you're in front or behind, just do another one. So you've evenly worked through both legs. Some warm-up squats when you're ready. So you bring your feet hip distance apart. You have your tailbone tucked under and the shoulders back. We're going to circle the arms. We're going to come down, lift, and then pull your arms down to your thighs. Breathing in and then breathing out as you're rising. Hips back, knees in line with your toes. I know it's feeling your shoulders pull down to the back of the ribs. Now try and get the arms long, so you're not letting the elbows bend. Reach, pull down. And as you pull the arms down, you're going to feel that pull comes from just below your shoulder blades. Use the breath in through the nose and use the out breath as you rise. When you breathe out, that helps to connect into your core. 2 more squats. And everything should feel fairly loose, apart from my neck. Let's grab one weight. So just one small weight. I'm going to move this for a second. We're going to come to our side lunge, and you're going to have your weight onto your chest. Your elbows tuck in so they're not winging outwards, and the shoulders just sitting back into our ribs. We're going to lunge across, bring the weight down to the thigh, and then reach the arms up. If not, you don't want to reach the arms up, you can just stay with your bicep curl, bringing your weight to your collarbones, or those nice straight arms as you reach up. Now as you're stepping across to your right, left leg straight, edge of your left foot still pressing into the ground. So when you step across, got that nice big stretch through the inner thigh. Try not to let the back round. Keeping your chest nice and lifted. You're squeezing your arms back towards your ears. And you're going to do 2 more to this side. And then you're going to stay with your right leg. Bring your weight down. Reset your shoulders, right leg forward. Arms lift, turn to your right, and then push back. So we lift, turn, front knee over the heel. And as you step forward, making sure you keep the feet hip distance apart. And if you need less, just simply keep your weight here with your elbows bent, so it keeps the weight a little closer to your body and makes that rotation and lunge a little easier. 3 more on this side. Think about the shoulders. Don't let those shoulder blades separate. So give that little connection through the upper back. Big squeeze into the bottom as you turn. And we do both moves together. To our right, step down, lift up, come forward and turn to your thighs. Lift, in line with the shoulders, step forward and twist. So it's a nice stretch here, a little bit of work here. And wherever you are, your shoulders are always stacked above your hips. We have 3 more on this side. So you're getting both movements nicely flowing together. And if you need less at any point, just put the weight down and work with the arms. Once more. Did I say it's easy this morning? And stop in the centre. Give your shoulders a roll. We're going to do all that again out to our left. So we're going to start with our weight here on our chest, elbows in. And if the shoulders need less, stay with your bicep curl. So all you're doing is pulling your weight back towards your collarbones and keeping your elbows tucked in by your ribs. A little bit more for more stretch. Arms come up nice and straight. And your arms stop just in front of your ears. So again, you're making sure that when you come up, you're not arching into your back like this. You've got that strong core brace at the top. And again, everything nicely aligned. Shoulders straight back above those hips. Breathing in through the nose, out through your mouth. Once more. Same leg. Your left leg comes forward. Step, twist, and then push back. So the feet again, hip distance. When you turn, a little bit of focus onto that front knee so that front knee doesn't rock. So to help the knee not rock, press the heel into the ground. You shouldn't feel that you're gripping with your toes on your left foot. If your weight's gone forward into your toes, it generally means that your knee's gone forward with your ankle and the heel starts to lift. That loads different muscles. So once you've got that heel planted down, you've got a nice strong base to twist from. Remember, you keep the weight here and make those twists a little smaller. Wherever you are, you've got 2 left, and then we can bring it all back together. Side raise, side lunge with the front raise to your left, down, lift the arms. Again, bicep curl is your option. I forgot to go forward this time. So you step, come forward with the twist, it's all gone wrong. Let's start again, to your left, reach up, step forward, and then twist. And again, step, reach, come forward, and turn. That's back into rhythm. Step. It is Monday morning and the drugs have just kicked in. Legal ones, of course. Remember that front knee as you step across. Press into the heel. Turn through your waist. We're going to do 3 more. Breathe out with that lift. Breath in and out. 2 left. Step across. Reach. Stride forward and twist. 1 more time. Down. And that's your side lunges and your forward lunges. Complete. Let's just have our weight in one hand. A little bit of work for the upper back, and what we need to focus on, keeping our shoulders and our rib cage nice and still. So your weight into your right hand, heels underneath your hips. We're going to come into a single row. We tip forward, arm comes to the side, and then push out the heels. Now you may feel that when you lift the arm, your spine wants to twist. So your heart stays centre, as if your heart stays sat between your toes. You're not letting it twist to the side. And what I'd like you to feel is when you lift the arm, that you're squeezing your shoulder blade in towards the spine. Now when the arm comes out to the side, elbows nice and soft. 2 more here. And then a little bit of a leg movement on our next one. So what I'd like you to do from here is either just rest on your left foot and your toes nice and lightly. You're going to tip forward, extend the leg, and then pull back in with your knee above your hip or your toe back to the floor. So from here, tip forward, step back, step in. So you're just sliding your foot back. Option to lift the knee up in line with the hip. Breathe in as you tip forward, and then breathe out as you rise. Drawing the tummy gently in. Now from here you can just tap your foot here and tap your foot at the back. Your spine tips forward, so you're still maintaining that nice aligned position. Keep the palm facing down to the floor. That helps to open the chest. And then for our next one, you're going to stay at the back with a straight leg if you can. You're going to lower the arm and the leg. For 8, 7, draw the tummy in. 6, tuck in the chin, soften the knee. 3 more. Shoulders still nice and square. And then step in. So you feel your balance muscles around your right buttock. Let's find them on the left. So you're weight in your left hand this time, so the shoulders are set. We're just going to go through the row and find that diagonal position. So if you look at the hips, they're back behind the heels. They move first. Chin nodded in. It's going to almost feel like you're lining your heart up right between your big toes. So you have to slide the hips back to get that angle. Now as you pull the arm in, feel the shoulder blade. You almost want to feel those muscles between your shoulder blade and your spine connecting. Elbows staying soft. Once more, and then we can find your balance again. So it's your right foot this time. You can either just stay lightly on your toes, or you can start that knee lift straight away. You're going to tip back, and then come up again. So again, you're still trying to bring your heart forward, and push your hips back. Remember, you can just tap down with the foot, and tap in. And that's just going to keep changing your centre of balance, and keep all those core muscles connected Strong posture as you rise, so shoulders right back above the hips. Keep the standing knee slightly soft. 2, hold your next one. Lower the arm and the leg. So if you don't want to lift the leg, you can just stay with the arm, or you can add the leg lift as you lift the arm. Still aim to keep your toes on your right foot, pointing down to the floor. Chin nodded in. 3, 2, and your last one. And then you can step in again. Shake your legs. Let's come to our squats. Feet just outside the hips, so it's wide, but it's not that really, really wide squat. Like midway between narrow and super wide. Shoulders back, just a squat and a curl. So you're going to push your knees out at the bottom and just a little curl in towards your chest. Again, as you move the squat into the squat, lead back with the hips. Now think about the shoulders, don't let them round or your shoulders separate. Even if it means you don't quite go as low, that's fine. It's better about keeping good technique, keeping all the correct muscles switched on. And so you can get your hips to stop just above your knees. And when you're ready to rise, drive your heels into the ground. And then we add on with our shoulder press and a tricep extension. So you're going to press up, tricep, down to your chest, back into your squat. So we lift, draw the abs in, elbows point forwards, back to your chest and into the squat. Now when you go into your tricep press, you might feel your elbows want to point out here. So keep them pointing forwards, pull it down to the chest, back into the hips. So we can make this a little bit more challenging, of course, by lifting both heels off the ground. So we hold that heel raise. Now as you hold into your heel raise, squeeze your glutes. Keep the chin tucked in, looking forwards. So we're going to do 2 more with the squat, the curl, the shoulder press and the tricep press. Because we need to overload our bodies and our brains on a Monday morning. Prepare them for the week ahead. Now you're going to stay here. Go into your tricep press, lower your heels. Lift the heels for 10 and lower. 9. Elbows in. Keep them pointing forwards. So you're almost squeezing your upper arms in towards your ears. You're pressing through the balls of your feet and pulling up through your calves. 3, 2. Now from here, bring your weight to your chest. Bring your feet a little bit narrower. The press with the heel raise. 10. Now the elbows stay tucked in under your plate. So again, they're not winging out. If your elbows tend to wing outwards, your upper back will want to round. So you've got that feeling of corkscrewing those shoulder blades down, keeping them down as you press the arms up. Keep those elbows tucked in the best you can. Breathe out the extension. Let's go back to triceps at the top. So you're going to hold in at the top, heels and arms down, up. If you've had enough of the calf raises, you can just keep your feet on the floor. If you want to make them a little harder, just lower the heels halfway down. So you're not quite resting at the bottom. 4, 3, 2, and then your last one. Back to your shoulder press, half calf raise if you can, for 10. Keep that chin nodded in. Back of your neck nice and long. Can you try and get the heels off the ground? Halfway. 5, 4, 3, 2, and your last one. And release. And release your calves. All right, we'll do our windmills. If you want to use 2 weights, use 2 weights. I'm not, because it's a little bit sore here today. And quite a few other places. So you can have your left foot facing forward, and you can have your right foot to the diagonal. Square your hips. You can have a weight in both hands, or just one in your right hand with me. You're going to find your breath in as you lower down. You're going to use your out breath on the lift. And when when I say use, I mean blow your air out. And as you breathe out quite powerfully, you'll feel a little bit more connection through your tummy muscles and through your waist. Now you might notice your right hip has slipped back a little. So if that's happened, just push the hips forward so the hips are nice and square, facing forward the whole way through, and then finding that breath. Breathing out as you bring the shoulders right back above the hips. Now you're going to try and get the arms as straight as possible, so you're pushing your hands as far away as you can from each other. And that should bring a nice deeper stretch to your left hand side. Maybe not nicer, but certainly deeper. Breathing through the nose and out through your mouth. One of my favourites, I like this one. It's a good Monday morning stretch. And a nice Friday finisher one as well. Once more. And then change sides. So you can make it more of a strength exercise again with both weights or a heavier weight in your left hand. Push the hips, square them up. Set the shoulders first, so you're really open across your shoulders. And try and keep the chest really open as you lower down. If the shoulders drop in, what happens is your spine then flexes forward and rounds. So as you keep the shoulders pulled back, you'll feel that you're moving directly down to the side. You might notice you don't quite go as far, but that's fine. More important to keep everything aligned. Watch that left hip hasn't sat back, so push the hip forward. Keep squeezing the bottom so you're nice and strong through your legs. Now avoid any movement through your legs, don't let them sway. All your waist. Lengthening and then pulling you back up into the centre. Use your breath again. Breathe in, breathe out. In through the nose, out with a lift, and 3 more. Arms straight and as long as you can. Hands as far away from each other as you can. And one last one to enjoy. And then step in. Let's come down onto the ground. As we come down to the floor, let's have both of our weights. In fact, don't lie down. Let's kneel down. We'll do more tricep work. Just one weight, sorry, to begin with. And then we'll add the lie down and the second weight. So in your kneeling position, it's as if you're going to be in a lunge. You've still got the feet hip width apart. Your front knee stacks at 90 degrees and you're not letting the knee collapse inwards. So when you're ready, you're going to gently press the knee out, both knees at 90. You're going to bring your right elbow onto your right thigh and you're going to square the shoulders. Now the weight might make your shoulder drop, so you're going to slot the shoulder blade into the back of the rib. We're going to row and then kick back and release. Ow. Now when you lower your weight, you want to make sure you can't see the shoulder out the corner of your eye. So imagine you've got a spirit level right across the front of your chest and your shoulders, and it doesn't move, it stays perfectly level all the way through. And to help keep that stillness, gently draw your belly button up towards your back. So I struggle to turn my head that way. Feel the shoulder blades gently squeezing together. And you can almost imagine that you're trying to hold a 50-pence piece between your shoulder blades, especially when you lower the arm down. Now one more lift, and then just your kick back. So hold the elbow high, and you're going to kick back. Keep lifting the front of your ribs. Gently drawing the shoulder blades down towards the back of your ribs, and using the out breath as you extend. Physically squeeze the back of the arm. So you're trying to get the arm as straight as possible at the back. And because you've only got one weight, and it's quite light, or somewhere in between, we'll go for another 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then release it down. Change over legs when you're ready, so you can just turn to the opposite side. It's much easier for my head to turn this way. Feet hip distance. If you're standing with your left foot in front of your right, it's going to be really hard to keep your balance. You can even take it wide if you need more help. Lean forwards. Shoulder connected. Chest lifted. Chin nodded in. Shoulders don't move, we're just moving with the arm now. You're pulling your elbow in. And you'll just straighten your arm back in line with your shoulder at the bottom. Sometimes we end up doing this and swinging and nothing is controlled. So I want to set the shoulder, squeeze into the back of the ribs. Then you can use your breath in, out breath to extend, and again, lift, squeeze, and release. Draw that belly button up towards your spine. Front knee gently pressing out towards that little toe. A little bit of warmth coming into the back of the arm now. Lots of work through the upper back. So again, as you're leaning forward, you've not got the shoulders above the hips. You're going to be in that nice diagonal position. So the more you're in that diagonal position, the more you get the muscles in the back working. Then we move to just our triceps. So you're going to hold the elbow up, squeeze the shoulders gently back, and then just extend. So there's no rolling through the shoulder. Your hand just comes back under the elbow. So if you come further forward, we end up almost swinging with it. So it's just squeeze it back and control it to here. So you stop, then push back, stop at 90, and then squeeze back. Now just squeezing back, really squeeze into the back of the arm. Square those shoulders back up, push the rib cage forward, breathe out on that extension, 4 left, 3. You ready for tricep press ups next? That made you all frown a little. Might as well. So from here, hands narrow, then I promise you can have a lie down. So you don't want your hands wider than your shoulders. Literally, if you put your hands out in front with your thumbs together, that should put you at the perfect shoulder width distance. Now easier is knees under hips, a little harder further back, harder still up onto your toes. 2 sets of 10. Now you'll find here your elbows point to the side. So again, you're going to corkscrew your elbows back so your elbows face towards your hips. Now as you ease forward, you're going to bend your elbows rather than the back and then push up through the heels of your hands. Breathe in through the nose and then breathe out through the mouth. Don't worry about how low you go. You just want to feel some load into the backs of the arms. And then as you push out the heels of your hands, you're squeezing into the back of the arms to get the arms straight. Don't fling through the elbows, though. It's a nice squeeze smooth through the back of the arms. 2 more by my counting. It's not always guaranteed, as we know. And then take a little sit back. Keep the arms out in front and just pull your hips back to your heels. Let the head sink down between the arms if you can. Or hips just easing back towards the heels. So we're going to do 1 more set of those. We're going to bring our weight forward again. Now you need to make sure your chin or your nose just in line with your fingertips. Shoulders pull back, belly's braced, and you go again, 10, and rise. Check where those elbows point. They're pointing out to the side or they're pushing back towards the hips. As if you're going to lower your forearms on the ground. And you're keeping your nose forward of your fingers all the way through. Drive the heels of the hands into the ground. 3 more, I think. I might just do it. 2, abs nice and tight. And your last one. Again, when you finish that last one, just pull the hips back. From here, we're going to take a lie down, then we'll go onto the back with both weights, I promise. Just seems in a good position to just let ourselves take the knees back and sink down to the ground. So some extension work and some strength work for the upper back, but we're also challenging our core to keep our lower back in a neutral position. So from here, your tailbone softly draws to the heels. Feel like you've got your belly button ever so slightly lifted, and you're going to reach your hands back towards your thighs. You're going to let the crown of your head rest, not the crown, the forehead even. And you're going to let your shoulder blades just separate. Now your hands reach towards your ankles. Then you're going to lift your chest and turn your palms to the ground, up to the ceiling, and then we lower down. So your hands slide, head lifts, palms rotate down, breath in as you lower. Tailbone softly towards the heels. Belly button gently lifted away from the ground. And when you reach your hands back first, you should feel like your shoulder blades slide closer towards your bottom. And you're trying to keep that feeling of those shoulder blades pulling down towards your bottom. And try and keep the neck nice and long. So your eye gaze is always down to the ground. We add on single arm raises. So you're going to stay here. Bring your right arm forward, back, then your left arm forward, turn your palms to the ceiling and ease down. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Now, as you bring your arm forward, try to keep that squeeze into your shoulder blades so they don't move away from each other. So squeeze them together as you lift, reach down towards the ankles, and keep that feeling of pulling them down as well as towards each other. So we're going to do that 4 more times. If you need less, just come back to this first one with just a lift. Strong connection to the upper back. Pull the shoulder blades down. Draw your belly button up towards your spine. And your job is to try and keep your belly button gently lifted towards the spine as you lift your chest and move the arms forward. So again, you might not lift as high. You can keep the work in the right area. Once more. And this will be a lot easier for some people compared to the others. So some people might find it really difficult and some people might find it really easy. Bring your hands in under your shoulders, squeeze the elbows together and give yourselves a little push back and pull the hips towards the heels. So again, sometimes it just depends on your posture and the position of your spine to how some exercises feel a lot easier than others. Right, so now we can have a roll onto our backs when you're ready. So in your own time, just coming forward and rolling onto the back. Now, as promised a little while ago, you can have both your weights. Now from here, we're going to work with a chest press and a leg extension. So you're going to have your weights, palms facing inwards, and it's as if we're going to draw a capital A. So the shoulders are pulled back and pressed into the floor. Your elbows come out wide to the wide part of the capital A, and you're going to keep the shoulders pressed into the floor as you squeeze your chest back to the peak of your capital A. You're going to bring the knees above the hips. If you need less, you can put the feet on the ground. Gently draw the belly down to the back. As you breathe in, extend your right leg, hold at the bottom, press the shoulders into the floor, and then breathe out, squeeze back into the centre. In through your nose as you lower, out through the mouth as you lift. Now your weights come directly back above your heart. Your elbows pull out wide, just below your shoulder line. And then you're thinking about your lower back. You're trying to keep your abdominals braced, so there's a constant contact between your lower back and the mat. If you feel that when you take your leg out, your back lifts, then don't take the legs away as far, or just push them up more. If you feel that you can make your core work a little harder and resist a little bit more movement, then you can bring your heel down towards the ground. Now think about the chest. When you squeeze the chest in, you still want that feeling of your shoulder blades being sat onto the ground. So you're not letting the shoulders come off the floor. They're pulling down to the back of the ribs the whole way through. Slow breath in as you open, and a strong out breath on the lift. I was going to do a couple more on each side, because this is the easier bit. And then you're going to stay in the centre. Bring your feet down, bring them close. You're going to pull your hips up. You're going to turn your palms in, and you're going to stay with that capital A. You're going to pull the elbows wide, and you push together. So as you're lifting the hips, you're squeezing the bottom. Your palms this time are facing in towards each other. And again, you've still got that capital A feeling. And we're going to do 8 more here. Now physically squeeze the bottom to drive the hips up. Knees are in line with the toes. Chin's tucked in. And then we're going to take it to a single leg bridge. If you want to, you don't have to, you can stay with both feet on the ground. Stay at the top. Either lift your right heel or your right knee. You can have your legs straight if you want to. And you're just going to lower your right arm and your hip. So what we're focusing on is keeping all the weight and the work into the left leg. Again, you can keep the knee at 90, so it makes it a tiny bit easier. Or you can have your right toe resting on the ground and you're still pushing up through your left buttock. Squeezing on that rise. One more time. Then from here, bring your leg down. Press the shoulders back into the ground. Lift your left knee. Your heel or a straight leg. Left arm. Breathe in, pause. Now squeeze the bottom and get the feeling you're trying to stamp your foot up on the ceiling if you've got a straight leg. If you're keeping that knee at 90 degrees, you're trying to keep your shin parallel to the ceiling. You're breathing in as you lower, and the press every time comes out of your right heel. Drive the right foot into the ground. Squeeze the right buttock at the same time. Give me 2 more to the top. And one last one. Stay here, bring both feet down. Single legs with a tricep extension. You're just going to slide your foot along the floor. It comes to a little hover. You're keeping your abs braced, your chin tucked in. And if you want to, you can do a double leg extension. Out, in. If you're extending both legs, it's a really light tap of your heels. You don't have to fully straighten the legs, but you're working on your core again to keep your lower back towards the ground. Breathe in, out, in, extend. Single legs is your option. 4 more, whichever you decide to do. Out through the mouth on that lift. In as you ease down. One last time. And then you can bring it all back down. Reset the shoulders. Ditch one of your weights. Keep one in your right hand. And you're going to roll over into a box position. So your hands are under your shoulders. Your knees are under your hips. And we get some rotation back into our spine. Now at first, we're going to keep the head still. We're going to use our right arm, thread underneath the left, and then pull back with the shoulder. Then if you feel ready, you can turn your head. So your eye gaze follows the hand. Now press your weight into your left hand. Gently squeeze the bottom, keeping the hips nice and still. See if you can extend your left leg out. You can rest in the middle and then extend, or you can stay with that hover. You've got 2 left, whichever one you decide. And 1 to finish. And come in. You should feel like your obliques as well. Reset the shoulders when you're ready, and we change sides. So your weight comes into your left hand. Stack the shoulders forward, so your shoulders are over your hand. Just the hand, again, you can thread through, pull back, or you can turn the head with the arm. Not my best idea today. Now feel the shoulder blades squeeze into the spine. Add in your right leg whenever you're ready. So by adding the arm and the leg together, not only do we challenge our obliques to keep our balance, we start creating extension through the back as well. I'm not going to do the arm anymore. But you guys have got 4 left. Nice big out breath. And again, as you push the leg back, you get that nice extension feeling through the back of the body. Last 2. And then your 1. The good news is you don't need your weight anymore. You can pop that down when you're finished. Hands come back under the shoulders. Just take your right leg back for a calf stretch. So onto the ball of your foot, gently encouraging the heel towards the ground. And as you breathe in, let your ribs come forward so your back becomes longer. As you breathe out, a little tugging of the chin. So you can gently press through the hands right back into the heels. There's no weight on your wrists. You're just pushing back into the heel of the foot. And it feels quite nice after all those calf raises in the beginning. Change sides when you're ready. Knee in. Left leg back, ball of your foot. Gently pressing back into the heel. As you breathe in, a little lift of the rib cage. And again with your out breath, you can try and take that stretch a little deeper, just by simply taking more weight back into the foot and getting the feeling that you're trying to get your heel to touch the ground. Might quite not get there, but just in that direction. And then come into the centre again, knees in under the hips. When you're ready, you're just going to tuck under your toes, pull your hips back to your heels, and then gently straighten your legs. Now let your ears come between your arms. A little squeeze the thighs, pressing the heels towards the floor again. Now if you need to keep the knees bent, that's fine. What I'd like to do now is try and press your chest a little deeper towards your thighs and almost feel like you're lifting your bottom up to the ceiling. So we get the stretch in our hamstrings. Nice stretch through the shoulders and the back as well. Whenever you've had enough, you're just going to simply bend your knees and step your feet forward. The heels come under the hips. Now again, you're going to lengthen your neck, so you're drawing your chin to your chest, and it's the crown of the head that you allow to hang to the ground. Belly drawn to back. Breathe in through your nose. As you breathe out, you can allow yourself to fold a little further forward, or if you need some support, elbows just onto your thighs. One more big breath in. Breathe out, let it go. And then take a breath in. As you breathe out this time, just restacking your spine. Roll it up through each vertebrae very gently until the head lifts. Everything else just clunks into place. And the shoulders roll back and down. And then just circling around when you're ready. Just opening the chest. And this next one's for my benefit as much as yours. Hands down to your thighs, palms in, shoulders squeeze back, and your ear gently over to the right hand side. Pulling your left shoulder down. And then let you gently glance towards your right shoulder. You should feel a nice stretch down the back of the neck. A nice ish. And then bring the head back into the centre. Roll the shoulders back. Left ear to left shoulder. Right hand just sliding down your thigh. And a gentle turn to look over your shoulder. And then into the centre and release. Just take the elbows over again. Gently squeeze the elbows together at the back as if they're trying to push towards your ribs. And your last one. Hands come down. Give them a lift.